Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony from her Homestead Skills, and I understand a few of you are looking at opening up closets in order to expand on your preps and what you have in-house, which I think is a great idea. I think I have, just probably like a number of you, food in one closet here, some more in another closet there. I have one closet totally dedicated to shelving with some of my jars. I have crates under a table, which I never show you. It's in the kitchen where I normally work, but yes, there are crates there, and that is where I keep most of my jars of tomatoes. So there are some of you that know that I do, anywhere from 150 to 250 pint jars of tomatoes every year. That's because, being Italian, we do a lot of pasta in this home. So that's always a given. That's something that I've always done, even when I didn't put up any other food. I always put up tomatoes. And there was a time when I was younger that I did not, and I would buy the canned tomatoes from the store, and after doing that for a year and then processing my own, there is a difference. There is a difference buying farm fresh tomatoes in the fall and canning them yourself, and you can really taste the fresh tomato taste in those canned jars. So I do that every year just to ensure that I have food that actually is tasty. In a way, I'm a fairly picky eater. Mark will tell you that. It has to taste good, and if it doesn't, it doesn't have to be complex. It can be simple. I'm just as happy with a peanut butter sandwich, but it has to taste good. So if it doesn't taste good, I won't eat it. So food has to have flavor, and that goes to the point of buying tomatoes in the fall. It's pretty rare that store-bought tomatoes have any flavor at all. So in the fall and throughout the winter, there's not many fresh tomatoes that go through this house, and if they do, well, I don't eat much of them, let me tell you that. Okay, so today I wanted to touch on the subject of forces that are in play, and they're probably always in play, but for some reason these days they seem to be stronger and gaining force, and the forces are very much opposing, and you have forces that want to tear things down and other forces that want to build things up. And the ones that want to build things up are doing it rather quietly and just going about their business doing them, and probably very few people pay any attention to what is being built up until it's there. There are probably also good things that are being built up, and we don't really pay much attention to them. We do notice all the stuff that is being torn down, whether it is statues that are being torn down, or laws that are being ignored, and borders that are being ignored, and all this is a tearing down of society as we know it. And but society is not collapsing per se. It's humming along. It's doing its thing. It's limping, but it's still there. It's not as though society has totally revolted, especially in North America here. We're still go about our day-to-day business and go to work and go home and make dinner and go to sleep and all of that. So we're still humming along. We have not had a total collapse of society. There are those that expect that. There are those that expect a lot of pain. I'm one of those that expect a lot of pain. I don't know if society will totally collapse. I don't think that is the case, but I think that it will be remolded into something, and something far different from what we have now. And perhaps this isn't the first time. I just came across something that I'd probably like to read, and this is dated December 23rd, 1776, and it was something written by Thomas Payne, and he goes on to say that these are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country, but he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. Isn't that true? It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Now, this is something that occurred in 1776, and he goes on to say, Britain, with an army to enforce her tyranny, has declared that she has a right not only to tax, but to bind us in all cases whatsoever. And if being bound in that manner is not slavery, then there is not such a thing as slavery upon the earth. Even the expression is impious, for so unlimited a power can only belong to God. I think we're fighting the same battle today, only it's not Britain. I think Britain is on the same side as we are. These days, she is also being beaten and enslaved, and perhaps is suffering more than we are right now, or equally as much. So, who are those trying to enslave? Well, there are those that are trying to impose their will upon the rest of the world, that's for sure. And whether that is I think I like his statement that so unlimited a power can only belong to God. So those trying to enforce their will to every detail upon the lives of mankind can only fail. But it doesn't mean that we have the same kind of war ahead of us that we had in 1776, where we fought a country to gain freedom. And sorry, I'm not an American. It wasn't my people that fought in that war. But it was the American war that gave everyone their freedom here in North America. The world is going through a very similar process there. Only it's not just one country or one people's. And the enemy is a little harder to, and the, people can say it's this group and that group and the WEF and this other group that is trying to impose their will. How does society overcome and fight that kind of tyranny? I don't know. I wish I had the answer. I do know that there are individuals right now fighting tyranny within their own countries. I don't know how bad it'll get in those countries and how well they'll succeed or won't succeed. I don't know how much it'll affect us here, but I know it's going to be difficult. And it will be, there'll be a purge. And what that purge is, the fight is to better your own character. It always has been to better your own character and not to try to better the character of somebody else. We're only responsible for our own lives. We can advise, we can assist, we can do whatever we can to help somebody else, but in the end it is they who make a decision of their own lives. Even if it's somebody as close as your spouse or your child, they do have their own lives, they do have their own minds, they do have their own wills, and they will make decisions for themselves. Whether you think it's right or wrong, it is right for them at the moment. So, everything is a learning experience. I don't know if I'll live to see the glorious outcome of these battles we are fighting today. I don't know if my children will or my grandchildren will, but there will be a golden age again sometime. Anyway, this is Tony from Her Homestead Skills. Once again, just a few thoughts. Try to uplift your neighbor, try to help them, try to befriend them, and be a builder and not one that tears apart. I guess that's the best advice I can give. Anyway, have a good day.